Okay, honestly, I don't know how this is going to look like because my computer just disconnected me and it won't allow me to continue making my video. And this is one of the reasons why I am so fed up of everything, because I couldn't make the previous one in Serbian because my camera wasn't working. So now, I mean, now it's working, but my computer won't allow me to finish filming. So yeah, I don't even know where I was. And yeah, I apologize for the quality of this because I'm using my phone now and I'm normally not using it. So yeah, I don't know how this is going to look at all. So I'm really sorry because I didn't prepare properly. I didn't expect this. And yeah, I'm really, it this happens all the time. I turn on my computer and I don't know, I do a session with somebody whenever I use Zoom, and as if somebody is constantly going through my computer and shutting down things. So it happened before with my camera, it happened with my microphone, and with some other things that disappeared from my computer. So now this is like really a little bit too much, and I just uh, I'm really sorry. So I just want to finish this because I was saying something really important. I was speaking about these energies, male energies of really powerful people who are on astral planes. So yeah, they can't work with feminine energy. So if they're lacking strong woman, and usually it's not only about one woman because they need more and more of this energy because they keep losing it. They need more women, and it's not always solving. This is why you have gurus and other spiritual teachers who are surrounded by women, and they do this. It's been accepted. It's like been done in the past since Egypt. Nowadays, all the priests were surrounded by many women. Yeah, and rulers had harems because they, you know, like I said, women are resource. They view women as a resource, and this is what they do now. Even the ones who are speaking against it, like I said, the ones who are kind of like they love women so much they need to have more than one. We know you don't. You don't respect any of them, and not to mention yourself and your own heart. And it's about, in spirituality, uh, when you're in a soul evolution. Yes, like I said, soul is one sphere. It's whole. You're not half a soul. But in this other plane, you can't function if your masculine, inner masculine and feminine energies are not healed. If they're disconnected, and if they're in, let's say, separation, because it's this energy that it's not about some physical being outside of you that completes, not necessarily a partner. That's not what I'm saying. It's about this energy that you connect with from higher planes that are of different polarity. If you're male, that's a female, that's your divine feminine, but not necessarily the one who is out on the physical plane. It can be, and then there's somebody who can grow to this energy and who is physically downloading this energy, or is incarnate energy, that energy. But I'm not talking about that at the moment. You have to be on this inner plane and higher plane connected to this energy, because as a feminine, this is where you have protection. This is where you bring ideas from. This is what helps you manifest and materialize things. And this is essentially who guides you and helps you through other people and sends you people when you need it. So if you are not connected to your divine masculine or your divine feminine on higher planes, then you can have all kinds of problems. All of these problems that we're just speaking now. So it's said in some spiritual circles that women are more equipped to develop a bit further spiritually than man, and quicker. Of course, soul is sexless, but on some planes, if you were speaking about the form that we express as in on certain levels, then it's a woman is the one who goes higher and then turns and helps male go higher. And this is what the understanding of this is lacking of this plane. Like I've been saying, when we go and heal, so we go into we create a change on a spiritual plane, on a not necessarily astral, but on a spiritual plane, and then it comes down, and it's also there where you create this connection. It's also there where you heal this wound. It's also there where you keep the sphere whole and intact, and then you can both rise together and not push and pull down one of or the other. So if this union doesn't happen on inner planes or on those planes, it's not gonna happen in physical planes either, and it's not gonna start in a physical plane. It starts there. Same as anything else, you're not going to fix your financial issues. What the? Something's happening that I don't know whether this is the sound that it's in my house or somewhere else, but yeah, something energetically there is activity here, as you see. So yeah, if this you're gonna heal your material world, whether that's finances or something else, from down here. It happens there, especially for everybody, but especially if you are a spiritual adept. You are to understand this, and you have to fix it there, because from that plane you materialize everything. I'm here with a single thought, clear thought, but through your divine feminine energy. Whether that's an incarnate, physically present energy on earth or not, doesn't really matter, because if you, when you have healed connection with this energy, then you manifest it. And if you don't, you manifest a whole lot of problems for you and other energies that want to extract your energy from you. Same goes for women. And yes, there are energies who can see that you have this, whether they see it as a guide or whatever, and they want to remove this energy from your life. That happened to me too. I'm not speaking necessarily about the physical male presence. I'm speaking now about this higher being, higher self. Yeah, they can do that, especially if you are manipulated to make certain choices. That happened to me, and this energy can leave you a little bit so that you understand what's going on, and so that you can heal it, fix it. So yeah, I'm sorry about this. I don't know what was making the sound, because there's nothing is turned on around here at the moment. So yeah, basically this I'm observing happening a lot, because mostly masculine energies, unhealed masculine energies, whether they're spiritually adept or not, energetically adept or not, they don't understand this, and they view women as a resource. So you're somebody they're going to be using for their purposes. So they're either they're teachers, they're great teachers. They have karma. They cleared all of their karma. I just don't know what they're still doing here, if they did so, but whatever. Because whoever cleared their karma they don't need to be here around here anymore, or they're just going to come into this reality, do what they need to do, and then going to walk out. So that's one of the things. And the other thing is that what is it then? They use your sexual energy, through whether sexual intercourse, or whether through the energy that's exchanged on a high astral plane as a sexual energy too, because they mainly work there. So then they can go and do their work, and you're their student or their mistress or one of the mistresses. But usually, then again, you're somebody who's a resource, like you're a gas on a gas station. They come in and get filled up their gas tank and go. And this is yeah, this is what I've been observing in my own life and the lives of my clients, and this is what's happening for a really long time. Then this creates a further trauma because, one or both get hurt because of the choices and of the actions of the other and whatever comes out of it, and of the actions of all of the others who get included in all this exchange. And then we repeat, we're in loop, we're looped all over to repeat all this, to to go through it, through this indefinitely, and it's never healed. And yeah, this is the issue with this conflict between feminine and masculine energies. And it's like, I was just thinking I had some other examples in my mind, but this distracted me. There are of course females, feminine energies, who can come and take energy of men, male, yeah. Uh, they don't. We're speaking about the unhealed feminine energies, and they're the ones who are also doing some work on some plane and need energy and need masculine energy of certain kind of certain lineages or a certain type of energy, and they're mainly sent to those kind of men who I just mentioned, so that they turn them around. They control them. They don't allow them to develop. They lure them into this groups, secret societies, and other groups that want to use them, or they just mainly use their energy for themselves. So because they're in a coven, they have a coven, or they're priestesses of a coven. Goddess energy doesn't do that. Divine Mother energy and genuine goddess energy that is downloaded now and through a genuine conduit and a genuine incarnate is not using and abusing anybody, and is not manipulating anybody. She doesn't live on other people's energy, on anyone's energy, and she is connected through the energy of the universe or other universes, and she brings down this energy and gives it to everybody, not only for herself, because then when you're a conduit, it just flows. And this is why all the other energies that want a part of it, who are still unhealed, or they're turned, they're programmed, through all these games, samsaric games, they're turned to be like that. And then you have to do it when you become when you start having problems, and when you get sick because of it, or you leak somewhere and you have problems, or you're draining too much energy and you can't do your work. So either you give up on this work, or you give up on yourself, or you start using others like this. And this is the general idea. So this is how you keep um, the matrix intact. So this is one of the main tactics to keep matrix in place. And I'm not speaking about the system, or political system and state system and whatever, like what people think matrix is. This is not the matrix. I'm speaking about um, the beings that are keeping the artificial matrix on some other planes. This is through these energies that this is like the quantum computers that keep this reality through the energy that they're taking from these original um, creators who are creating this, who are incarnating, creating all this, who are from lineages of the original creators. Of course, we all have karma and stuff, but these things that come out to the surface are here to be healed and to be witnessed and changed, not to be lived and experienced again all over and over again. This is what they do so that they can drain energy out of you, create drama and trauma so that you get traumatized again. You get that trauma is instigated again in you, and it becomes overwhelming so that you start repeating it and looping it and excreting this energy that they will take from you. So most of those who are speaking about the matrix, they don't even know what the heck that is. And one of the things, the main issues, the main is a separation, conflict between masculine and feminine energy that is keeping it in place. And all of the others, usually when you meet your, not a twin flame or primary soulmate, like the masculine energy, not necessarily in physical, everything will come to the surface, but not to hurt you, not to harm you, not to overwhelm you, but to heal you. We come here in a soul group, without a soul group, or whatever, to heal something. Not only to help with something, but to heal something. When we don't have anything else to heal, we wouldn't come back. Yes, we do volunteer to do this and that, but like I said, the ones that don't have any more business around here, they're in another dimension, and they are holding this reality from the other dimension. They're not physical, at least not for us. They can be, but they're at least not for us. So it's really not like anything that we're presented with. And I'm honestly yet to meet this kind of healed masculine energy, because it's it requires a lot of work, because constantly something new comes up, especially with the energies coming. So like I said, the feminine energy that we are downloading, the goddesses that are helping us change this reality and reshape it, are not here to hurt us. And especially your soulmates, soul group, and your teammates are not here to hurt you. Everything that happens along the way, especially with infiltrations, are because we have stopped paying attention to something, or disconnected from our higher selves and higher beings, from our guides who are helping us, and are not willing to put some extensive work on something. Yes, sometimes it becomes too much. Yes, some are more triggered than others and more targeted than others, not only because of their karma, but because they're being looped, their karma, unnecessarily, but because they want you to get into the choices that are not necessarily going to be good for you. Because when you hurt somebody, or you incur new karma, you create new karma. Everything that I've been talking about now is, especially for the ones who are saying that they don't have any more karma and still view somebody as a resource, you just created new karma for yourself, and you're going to be coming back with some experience to heal it. That's the whole idea. So the idea is that you really stand firmly in divine light, and you can't do that without the connection of your divine feminine and divine masculine, but firstly from the higher planes, and then in the physical plane, if this exists. And it's not necessarily somebody who you think it is, because if you still feel that you have to hide something, that you have to hide somebody from somebody, that there is something you cannot say, you cannot face it, that's not your divine feminine. And if that's somebody who's dominating or controlling you, want to keep you under their finger, I've learned it the hard way. That's not your divine masculine. And even if they 100% are, they're still unhealed. And when you have a connection with an unawakened twin flame or unhealed twin flame, that's gonna hurt as hell. And yeah, there's some things are there to awaken us and to help us grow, but some things are not. Some things are intended to block us. Not generally necessarily just you, but they have been through exactly the same program and they're being used. It's about being used, using somebody as a resource. Males are also being used as a resource from this group of unhealed feminine that are used by, again, used by somebody, if not a physical being, then an entity. So yeah, that's kind of they have a contract, but still, they're being used. And yeah, as long as we view another as a resource, whether male or female, but I was mainly speaking about, unhealed masculine energy. Point is that unhealed masculine energy views females as a resource, and that's all of the things that I just mentioned are stemming from that, are coming from this. And if you have some beliefs in you, or maybe that are placed in you, or maybe that you were I don't know, you got from God knows where, because whether you were hurt or somebody taught you this, you still have some work to do, because you're not going to be able to connect, to blend. When you have divine masculine and feminine energies, they blend. They're compatible. They're not only compatible, it's like you're flowing into each other. And when you're flowing in like water into each other, or even like fire, everything was going to be burnt that is of not, that it's not of service to you anymore. It's going to come out to the surface, yeah, or whether to be burned or to just come out to the surface, to be removed, but still it's going to come out. You're not going to be able to sit on it anymore, especially not in these kind of energies that are coming down. So that's what's been going on. And yeah, whether I had some examples, I don't know, I lost track of my thoughts now. And I'm feeling a little frustrated with my technology. And yeah, that's one of the controlling problems. I really don't like feeling dominated and controlled, and that's what's been happening lately a lot. So um, in divine union, in divine light energy, you have to be transparent. If you can only be burning off this dross and whatever comes your way as a living sun, if you have this connection with your divine masculine or divine feminine, firstly in the upper planes and then in the physical plane. Otherwise, that's not going to happen. You're going to be having to put a whole lot of work to learn how to transmute and whatever you need to do with it, because when you blend all these energies, when you really become a living flame, a living sun, then literally that gets burned away. Doesn't mean that you're going to be feeling a little bit of something, but still, it's not like it's different. Basically, what I'm saying is different. And yeah, there are a few people. I mean, I have met one or two, male and female, who are like that, and I don't know what it took them to get to that place. Extensive work, but a whole lot of integrity and a whole lot of ethics. And if you view anyone as a resource, there's no ethics involved in this, or integrity. That's the point. And Yeah, I was lucky enough to have a couple of those as my teachers, and I had others also who show taught me something else, from whom I've experienced all this that I'm telling you this about now. But I was lucky enough to have those. And if when you come to the certain point when you need to be instigated into the next level, they will come back again in your life and instigate you. You know, and I believe that these kind of energies are actually the ones who are holding this world in place. Yes, it's about balance, and yeah, but we're speaking about constantly, when we're constantly in battle, constantly in fight, especially in this astral plane. There's no love there. Everybody's speaking about, in spiritual community, about love and truth, and nobody's living it. I mean, all these astral fights and stuff like that, whether you're fighting uh, other living beings who are astral traveling or entities, it's about power. This fight over energy, it's about power. There's no love there. In energy of love, especially entities, they cannot exist. This is why they don't want all these unions, genuine unions, to happen, and they will do anything to prevent it. And mind you, the secret societies and all, they can send you as many bodies as you want to, and as you take a pick. They can look at any way you can, and they can give you and offer you anything. It's up to you to see through the game. And if you're a spiritual adept, they will come. That will happen because they have permission, not from higher beings, but from their principalities, to do that, because they want to prevent you from going to the next level, or they have some interest or whatever. So yeah, just be mindful of that. But it happens, and it can get heavy, especially if you are not if you're still in the power struggle. And this can be a power struggle between feminine and masculine energy too, because like I said, one domineering the other. You can also have feminine wanting to domineer masculine energy because of their own wounding. And the ones who have issues with feminine energy will find this kind of women so that they can confirm their beliefs for them. But this is about there's no truth there, and there's no love. If you are standing in your integrity and ethics, then, and don't give me that, everything blends on another level, and everything has a purpose, and everything is, we all come to this, we all work for the same side. Yeah. Eventually, on another plane, yes, but before we blend all this and come together, there are certain choices that you're making, and that's about your growth, and that's about who you want to be, and what you want to download, and what you want to withhold in your channel. So the ones who are poking in your channel to see what kind of talents you have without asking you, are stealing your energy, or removing people from your life, or astrally attacking you to be able to infiltrate in your life so that they can tell you that they're helping you, but they're actually the ones who are attacking you, because most of these energies can't stand a powerful woman, even if you don't see yourself as such, because they have issues with feminine energy. Feminine energy is about love. Yeah, and that kind of energy can't be sustained without masculine energy, because when a woman is not surrounded in love, then you get all kinds of woundings, and then they manifest that, and then they transfer it to their children, because unhealed women breed birth firstly children from the unhealed wombs, and then all of the other beliefs that they can give them. Men also, but in a different way. And again, we're coming in this loop, and this is like the issue number one that we all have to heal and address. I mean, this is what's happening now. So yeah, when I hear like these spiritual people, when they tell you, oh, I'm a teacher, you don't speak to me like that because I'm a teacher, or mind your words, how you speak to a teacher, or women are this, women are that, you're, oh, it's a woman, they're women, so they must be guilty of something. Or women, why do women speak so much? Oh, women this, or women that. Of course, then on the other hand, there are women who say men are this and men are that. And that's all about this conflict between masculine and feminine energy. So speaking about it from higher plane, I know for me, this is coming from the Orion Orion experience, Orion life, where at least I've known about this life for a couple of years now, and I've experienced one dynamic already, but I'm just realizing now that all of the other dynamics that I've been experiencing is just looping of this. It's I was betrayed by my partner there. I was Queen and Orion regent of one area. I mean, Orion has a long history, and I didn't remember everything. I've had more than one life there, and I was mainly in the ruling family there, and had different kind of experiences. But this one was when I was killed. I mean, I was killed every time, but it was not necessarily about the wars. I think that happened on a different part. Uh, I was in love with this man who was not a royal family, who was poor and living like a forest, and he was like a native of a kind or something, and lived with animals and wolves and other animals, and it was like kind of a forbidden love. So all of the other fractions that were interested in my position and in my, because the ruling and the spiritual part of the world there were not divided. So if you were a ruler, you were also kind of a spiritual leader too. So there were certain gifts that you also had, and a certain initiations that you had to go through to get to there. And yeah, I was basically, they wanted to throw the government down, not only me but the ruling family. So as far as it goes to me, they bought him because he was poor. So he was offered a position, and he was offered wealth. He didn't kill me, though he thought that they will just overthrow me, but he gave them, it was like a bait for me to come to, when we were meeting at some point, they captured me because I was going without my entourage there. And yeah, basically they killed me. They sacrificed me, and there was a ritual sacrifice to certain entities, that beings that were not, they were not invaders at the time, but they were at negotiations or something. And yeah, I was fragmented and sent to different places, and my essence, they created a clone, and my essence was taken and given to this clone. And um, yeah, that, I mean, that energy still functions there. And that being was just a shell, and it was just to, I don't know, present. They didn't have any authority anymore. The ones were like bankers and others. They were bringing decisions, and other, reptilian beings. They were mainly, speaking about the species, different species. So yeah, I still meet, and I know this from my sessions, people who have grudges towards me because of some of the decisions that this clone made and not me. I was pushed through this, I don't know whether that was a pyramid or something, but there was like a well, or a pool, and through this pool I was drowned there, and not only drowned, I was pulled while I was still alive. So this portion of me, while I was, I don't know how, some portions went to different places, but one was sent to the earth. And this was my, I came to earth from Orion. And like that, I was exiled, sort of say, in this way. This is where my biggest fear from water comes from, and this is where the betrayal of my masculine, or it's, I'm not gonna say divine masculine, but it's like a different plane energy. And yeah, I experienced this. This is what's with these astral attacks and stuff, and other people, this is what gets instigated, basically. So I get into this very big pain, much too big for whatever is happening here, in this defensive mode, because that being, that higher self, was also um, fragmented, because he didn't get eventually what he wanted. They killed him too. Also, ritual. I mean, this is where I've been repeating ritual sacrifices throughout my entire lives, after that. And yeah, he was he became a ruler. He became part of that, but in on earthly plane, not in those planes there. And yeah, whenever I meet the similar energy to this higher being, higher self, um, at some point this loop gets instigated in something like that again. So that's where it's coming from. And this is where I'm basically saying that it's not necessarily your higher self, but I've seen in my work, I've seen a difference between the higher self and the soul. So there is a plane where the soul is not fragmented, and it doesn't mean that also this higher self is unhealed. But as long as we're speaking about the power issues and about all these um, struggles and war and fights on astral plane, and even the spiritual war that we're in, this is where it basically is coming from, not only for me but from all of us. This is why it's being instigated in many of us, and this is why all the memories of, I don't know, Egypt, Atlantis, or some parts of Asia, yeah, Asia, and oh god, Amazon, and all the where the pyramids are, because it's from the Orion groups and all of the infiltrations and offers and all the other stuff. And I was going to speak about this in another video, but it kind of came out now. It's coming from there. So it's kind of a mirror that it's happening there, but it's kind of a mirror reality, and all of our energies that are being extracted, they're going to this. I mean, it's not even, I mean, this is where the system matrix as we know it is created. It's the quantum computers are there, and they're keeping that reality here. So it's, we are the mirror reality to that. And I've had clients who also told me that they're sent from other planets, other places, because they follow the queen and they don't want to give up on the queen. Or yeah, there were more than one queen there. There were like sisters, and this is the story that we've been repeating in Atlantis, Lemuria, Avalon. This I've been watching in my life, in my movie of my existence here, through everything I've learned. And it's all about not only my personal history and healed conflict between masculine and feminine energies. It's like inner conflict, but outer too, but on the higher planes. And from all of the others that come to my sessions, I also see this, because it's about choosing one side or the other, and not necessarily the one who like in my story who betrayed me. No, it's the other. Like there is more to this story. There are more parts to it, and it was a fight, because there were queens and they were fighting the invaders, who were these um, male presence is not necessarily their males, but not the ones who were like their partners. But yeah, they, because they create this their tactic is divide and conquer, and that's what's been happening there. They've been dividing and conquering, not only between but within the families. And this is why they had many intermarriages, interracial marriages, races there. But then there were a lot of conflicts, because those were the energies that were completely, they couldn't blend, they didn't speak the same language, they were not compatible, and energetically speaking the same language. And this is where all the chaos started. And I'm now already starting, to transmit something. So yeah, that's not only in my history, but in our galactic history, what needs to be healed, because this is where it comes from. And when we heal this, when it's going to be extensive work, it's not going to happen overnight, but I'm sure it's going to happen one day. And how that is going to look like, I don't know, because we all forgot this. How the harmony actually looks like. How does it feel when you're in harmony? I had a glimpse of it, and when it gets removed from you, I don't really know how to get over that. I didn't know before. So I'm going to have to find a way to heal this, because I don't want to repeat that loop. And whether I had anything else to say about that, it's yeah, and all about this, invader energies that are masculine energies that want to come into. I've had many forced marriages, and all of the ones who were from royal families, on original creator families on earth, on who were either, I don't know, some rulers or spiritual leaders, or I don't know, priestesses later. They were all used and abused in different ways. We were all seen as a resource. And that's the point, and that's what this is why I based this talk around it, because it's yeah, if you see feminine energy being seen as a resource, and if you witness your mother and your grandmothers being viewed like this and used like this, and you're gonna grow up into this and believe that this is okay, and you at some point start doing it, or you become a resource to somebody else who, I don't know whether male, if a female, it's still functioning from unhealed feminine energy, but mostly they're functioning from masculine energy. I don't care how seductive the woman is and how beautiful she looks like. That kind of attacking and invading energy is masculine energy. There are males who function predominantly from feminine energy because they worked to integrate this, but then they kind of forgot about their male energy, maybe because as males they are in big trauma, and there are parts of them that they can't face, or there are parts of them when they were males in their lives that they can't integrate because of something that they've done. And usually, from what I've seen from my clients, what we judge the most, what we cannot stand the most in another or in a collective, is what we have inside of us. It's like, when you smoke and then you quit smoking at some point, and then then you start speaking, being a spokesperson for non-smoking, for how unhealthy smoking is. But not only that you're speaking against it, you become so judgmental, you become so strict, you become like other people can't stand you around them when you start creating dominating their reality with how things need to look like, because you now know better, and you're not allowing the others to have their own experiences. And yeah, it's like that. I recently had a session with a woman who had problems with feminine energy, with females. She couldn't connect with women and have friendships, and I didn't have any friends, and was mostly meeting women in her life who are domineering and manipulative, and were really trying to control her with all kinds of stuff, including black magic. And we could there is a dog. It's not my dog. It's a neighbor's dog, so it's being really loud at the moment. Um, she couldn't stand this kind of women, and all she was talking about was problems with his energy. But she couldn't even accept at some moment when we saw that she was this kind of woman. But she was this kind of woman because of the trauma that came out um, from another life in Egypt or something, where she was a sultan's mistress. And because he uh, developed affection towards her, loved her, other women in harem were jealous who wanted her position. So they were working for his legitimate wife, but they also wanted to be to a position of a mistress because they had benefits, and they did everything to make him don't like her anymore, to turn away from her and think badly of her, with all kinds of scheming and plotting and stuff like that. And she was like, she was very that happened. He kicked her out of harem, but she didn't see this as a good thing because she loved him, and she didn't see this as her becoming free because she was a slave there. She was his slave because she loved him and she was taken care of. She lived poorly, she lived without money, and she was brokenhearted. So she didn't even try. Excuse me. She didn't even try to have a different kind of life for herself, because she gave up on herself because she was not beside him. And that was her lesson, one of her lessons. But then from this life, she started hating women, because she took this belief with her that women are evil. And she created all kinds of lives from there, where she was, whether she was manipulative and having to dominate other women and control them and be in the center of their attention, so that she's not get hurt by them. But eventually, even in that kind of life where she was like a woman like that, she killed herself, because she still was not accepted and appreciated, because they didn't see the real her. She was not showing the real her. Or the other lives the, where she was also, I don't know, hurt by these kind of women, and her child was hurt. So this is the kind of unhealed feminine energy that I was speaking about, and it all comes from all this scheming and plotting, and seeing, being seen as a resource, or seeing somebody as a resource. I mean, you can't see somebody as a resource if you are not at certain point seen and experienced being a resource for somebody, or this trauma that you carry because of that. I have, I've led sisterhoods before, and I've been hurt by members of my sisterhood, and I'm sure I've had lives where I performed all kinds of stuff because of that. Um, we all did. It's like I found this live. I'm wondering. I thought that was some kind of, because they seemed like a Mexican pyramids or something, but that was like more divine masculine, my masculine energy that was unhealed and hurt, who has grudges towards women, because when you have this um, divide and conquer energy, they usually, at least in these, they send you somebody to men. They send some attractive female or something that they will fall for, that they need. And it's usually, knowing the breed that they send. And I've already experienced this, especially if it's like a from Masonic lodges and secret societies. Those are like women who are trained to be uh, like highly prostitutes, and they know how to seduce you, and they know what to do and how to push your buttons, and manipulate you and lure you in. Whether young or older, it doesn't really matter, but they're trained that that's how they brought up since that their entire life. And they're again used as a tool, as a resource. So this is like a divide and conquer technique, and I can smell them. I can recognize them from up far, because I've experienced it a couple of times. And it's a certain type of women that I keep wondering how men can't see this, because it's like, or are they blind or something? Even when they have spiritual sight, it's like I don't. I mean, I don't know. And they know, because the other things that are not allowed follow this, like black magic and stuff, and it's techniques all this time, and even before time on another planet. As you see, it's a divide and conquer technique, and we all fall for it, especially when they push our buttons, and they bring everything they can on us. They take out all their weaponry on us. They hit us from all sides, and we all fall from it. It's just sometimes we go as deep, so deep, so that we can't come out of that anymore. That's the problem. And the thing is that I see this, masculine energy, who's like a warrior, like a galactic warrior, like, but warrior. I don't know whether ruler or magi or something, but he was not so good at that time. He was very angry, and he was using this tools and weaponry he had in him, like shooting arrows from his shield that were saturated with scorpio poison, and there was a scorpio on my shoulder, right shoulder. And the thing is that instead, when this energy didn't want to become destructive, in order not to be destructive towards others, and when he get too upset and angry, he turns that on himself. So he poisons himself with this and becomes really immovable and passive. It's like this all this heavy energy comes back to him. It's like the Scorpio has this thing. The Scorpios are very protective, are very loyal, are very, like good. They can be used to regenerate and heal, but if this ability is not used properly, it can become a destructive force for you. And that's happened. Like, I was mainly feminine presence in my all my lives, but this masculine energy that I saw was doing this from his unhealed trauma that is possibly coming from these higher planes, not only from other planets, not only from this one. So I was wondering whether that was, Orion, because he's like taking vengeance now and fighting all these energies that once hurt him. And God knows what beliefs are there, whether something with feminine energy, because I suspect I've had other lives. I don't know about that one, but I've had other lives where, as a part of a ruling family from the invaders, that was, I don't know, I think whether that was Lemuria or Sirius, like a watery planet, as a ruler, priestess, ruling family, priesthood family. There was also somebody who was being sent to this being to, divide and conquer. And I was in all sorts of pain, and I was defending this realm and reality, but I was functioning from this pain, and I made mistakes and created destruction. Didn't I died also, but there was a lot of casualty and unnecessary casualty, and not only because of that, uh, I went on blaming myself and punishing myself because of it. So I'm just sharing these examples so that you can understand how we create these beliefs for ourselves when we are in repeated trauma. This is how trauma programs us, and this is why we need to address it. And that masculine presence, that masculine energy, that is, I don't know whether my divine masculine being that is on some of his unhealed stuff. I didn't even even know about this. I had a session and somebody else had to tell me about it, because I'm scared of these Scorpio beings. It's like projects danger for me. So it was not a nice, I wouldn't see myself. That's the point. So yeah, I gotta finish this because my phone is informing me that it's gonna shut down, and I don't want this to be. Yeah, I'm gonna be closing this now. I don't know whether I had something else to say. I mean, point being is that this is the root cause from all of the problems that we have, from everything that we've seen for the last couple of years, and God knows how much centuries, but last couple of years, everything that is happening and everything that is thrown at us is because of this issue of unhealed, because of the unhealed conflict between masculine and feminine energies. Because sooner or later we all come to this, even when we are in harmony. Because there are unhealed energies and unhealed beings that can't stand that, and especially in these energies that are coming down, that are supposed to heal us and uplift us. If we don't address what's coming out to the surface, we can recreate it again.